blocked. Anyways, hello you guys. Before I was talking, I was saying I didn't want any part of like my school location at all in here. Promo. Anyways, I was thinking to myself before I was talking to you, because I was eating, I was like, that's disrespectful. I don't want to eat like when I'm talking to myself or talking to, you know. So and then I was like talking about school. I was like, you know what, I don't want to video about school, career, because I'm already stressed, overwhelmed about that, to a 10, to 1,000, to 1,000,000, to 1 billion, to 1 trillion, to a gazillion, to a zillion. So I want to talk to you guys what I'm doing outside of schooling, classes, and stuff like that, because I'm doing stuff. I tried to make a dedication this last year of mine for a bachelor's, to not be all consumed 100% about my work. Trying to find like what else I like to do, what else I want to do, you know. So I'm finding it more each and every day. Currently I was getting out my backpack. I finished, okay, for all the book lovers, I'm getting back to like reading books, which is really helpful for me. And I'm kind of like, in the back of my head, I was like, girl, you missed out. But I'm catching up. Like, I'm catching up with these new words and stuff like that too, because I'm really late, y'all. I am a person who, like, you know, someone texted me you know, a couple days ago, and they used like FFS, and I didn't know what that meant. And well, they didn't like use it to me. They said it. They were like reciting what they said to someone else, and I literally had asked them like what that was, and I was boggled. I did not know. I'm still learning, and some of the stuff when I learned, I just said, okay, I learned it, don't eat it. I'm sorry about the coffee. But what I'm doing, sorry, I keep talking, but book lovers, I finished probably the beginning of my senior year. I finished Fierce Love from Sonya Curry. Phenomenal. I think she's funny. I think her mom is funny. If like, to me, like, oh yes, she's part, you know, her family, you know, she's the son of, you know, athletes and whatever. But her and her mom, like, in the beginning chapters, it was hilarious to me. And here we go with people coming past me. And I'm just like, man, you could have went any other place except here. Could have went any other place. But it's whatever. It's whatever. But yeah. So, I'm sorry. I don't even know. It was just like, you know, nosy. Anyways, concluding to that, Fierce Love is really good. Sonya Curry, love it. Her mom and her mom, Sonya Curry's mom, is funny. She's funny. Like, the things she was saying in the book, I understood, because it's like some of the things my mom and my dad did. But loved it. And then after that, I did Jenifer Lewis' book, The Black Mother of Hollywood. The Mother of Black Hollywood, I think. It's either that way. But Jenifer Lewis, phenomenal book. I was surprised I read it that fast. But for me, when Michelle Obama dropped her book, it was so, like, you didn't need to pause to, like, look up the word. You didn't need to do any of that. Like, she talked like it was a conversation. And that was the first time in a long time, because last book I've read like that, like on there, was Don't You Dare Read This, Miss Doubtfire. And that was fire. You know, I had to buy the hard copy, because I realized digital books are not for me, because for me, I'm not talking about school, but I'm on screen all the time, so I don't need that. I want hand. So Jenifer Lewis was really good. It was honest, it was truthful, it was beautiful. You know, I'm the type of person, like, I get the book, but I might reread it again, like, later in life, because I think Jenifer Lewis is really phenomenal. I think it was really good. And what I always find, like, a little, like, dessert to me is I read the book. Like, for instance, I read Fierce Love, right? And then all of a sudden, after I finished it, I did, like, a deep dive in her videos. I mean, not, like, deep dive in her videos, like she has her own YouTube channel or anything. But when I went on her daughter's, Sadel's, and she did that mother and daughter, it was so funny to, like, understand when she was talking about stories. It's like, yeah, you said that in the book. Oh my gosh, connect. And her one interview with all her children and stuff like that, I thought that was cool because the instilled structure she gave was phenomenal. And then same with Jenifer Lewis. I did that with Jenifer Lewis, and hers was phenomenal too. I did some Breakfast Club videos and some of her videos of her just like singing, because I'm late to the viral party, y'all. I don't have Vine. I don't have TikTok. I deleted Snapchat. I don't need it. Like, I'm sorry, you guys. I don't need it. I'm not the person, to come to if you're like, because I felt like for the longest time, I still do. Instagram and Twitter, they be just taking the stuff from TikTok and putting it on Instagram. So what's the point of me adding that app? I mean, I'm supporting from afar. I'm supporting at the end of the day. I like it or I retweet it, period. But yeah, so I do that. That's like a spice. I kind of cheated. I wasn't going to admit, but I did a little bit cheat on watching some Quinta Brunson videos. I'm not going to lie. Because that's what I'm on currently. Boom! She memes well. It's really good. It's really good. Sorry. It's really good though. I'm on chapter 14, how to mind your own damn business. So, I'm almost at the end. But after this, I'm either doing Viola Davis or Tabitha Brown. And then when I go back home, I plan to switch out the books I've already read and then take Bamboozled by Jesus by Yvonne Orji. I don't want to mispronounce it. Yvonne. I know I have to say Yvonne because I have, so anyways. But yeah, so I'll take that book back and then I'll start with other books, to get it, try to read. But yeah, this is right now what I'm reading and it's really good. I find what's so funny, I find all the books to be very phenomenal, like writing. Like, I have bought books in the past and I have read the beginning chapters, and all I have to say is it wasn't, I need conversation. Like, it needs to be like just straight up how you would talk to me if we on a one-on-one. I got this big book and I was like, and I said, I'm gonna support. And I couldn't. I'm gonna try to get back to the book, but it's like, man, I couldn't do it. But right now I'm doing She's Mean Well, and I'm almost finished with it, so it's really good. After that, I'm thinking about Viola Davis or Tabitha Brown. If not that, then I'll do Portia. I'll show that book later, but I want to do a book. It's not a book review, but a book phenom, because like all these books I've been reading are really great. I always think you telling your story is beautiful. That's what HL for You is about. Hey, telling your story. Besides books, though, what else has Moi been getting into? Let's see. For one, I'm doing yoga, which is good. Well, I'm stretching in the morning, and yoga. Well, I went on YouTube and I just said, what are for beginners for yoga? Because I really didn't do yoga in my life. So I looked it up and I was like, okay, I can do this. So my classes don't start until 9. So I wake up at probably 6, 7 o'clock. And I do yoga and I stretch and just get prepared for the day, do my sit-ups and what so. And that has been helping me have a routine of some sort. The weekend I kind of lay back because I do try to do double time through the weekday, sorry. But overall it's been good doing yoga. I'm starting to get back on my walking trail, not 100%. Last time I did it was like a week and a half ago. It's really hard. It's really hard. I don't know if I'll fully be able to walk like I used to, but I'm trying to get over those barriers or the places I used to walk over so I don't know about that, but I'm trying to do yoga, fitness, stuff like that. What else? I've been watching film, not gonna lie. I've been watching film to get my mind off of around me. While I'm watching film, I'm also writing scripts. This came all of a sudden when I started college. So yeah, I'm writing scripts. I find it really fun because I see you see so much or you hear so much and sometimes you could feel, but you feel the person, you know, going through it, and it's interesting. I mean, the story within my story, I have a story to tell. Within my family members, they have a story to tell. But it's so interesting to see that story unfold. So I'm starting to write scripts of just like life. Honestly, we all are breathing it, so I might as well write it. I love how they're having more Black creators and more storytelling. I said to myself one night, because I was really frustrated, I was trying to watch some like movies or romance movies and some or shows and stuff about romance, and I was like, dry. There was like 2 or 3 years ago because it is 2022. Pandemic years, before the pandemic years, I started my journey of Telemundos. Phenomenal. And first of all, let me tell you one thing. I thought, you know, this is what I thought, but I love that I'm branching out. I thought like shows only had 21 episodes. Telemundos are different. I learned because I started like going through them, and you know, they're not like 30 minutes, they're like an hour. So when I got to 21 episodes, it's like, okay, new season, woo. I was like, all of a sudden said 22. I said, oh, okay, they have that, because you know, like some shows have that. All of a sudden I stopped, and I was like, yo, they keep going they're like going past 25. It's like, what is this? Myself did not know that it was longer than 25. When I looked and it said 60 to 90, I was like, oh, you're on that time. And I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. But I was like, wow, y'all are on that type of time. So I watched my first Telemundo. What my first Telemundo that, I mean, was, I think, Without Breast There's Paradise. Phenomenal. It was the 2016. I went back to the 2008 because, girl, I did not know. But I love how they did it like 8 years later. Oh my gosh, what happened? I love to go back to it and look at it because it's really good. What else? Oh, Hidden Passion. Ooh, that's my joy. That's my joy. Man, Juan and Norma, man, they made a new one. I stopped at episode 54 because for some reason Peacock was going through his episode. So I was like, you know what? I'ma just continue to watch something else. So I watched this Turkish one. Girl, oh my gosh. It's spelled Hercai. It's on YouTube as well, but it was good too. Man, that was good. I love romance. If I didn't explain, I love romance. I love talking about it. I kind of don't like how now people are like, well, I like it now, but like when Bridgerton came out, people were like, this is what we need. I was like, I've been dying for this. I've been dying to have some type of romance show. You know, like, I mean, like, just it. There are romance shows, yes, I've watched them, but I like diverse romance. You know, I like, yeah, you know. So when I went to Telemundo and the Turkish route, it was really good because it showed diversity, it showed culture. So that was really good. After probably talking to y'all, I'll probably watch them because it really changed my whole perspective. Sorry. Then when I finished Turkish, I went to Bollywood, and it wasn't because of Quinta. If you know. But Bollywood was good. I love some of the Bollywood movies. I never watched like I got it on Netflix, just to be clear. It wasn't on like television for me because I'm in college, so I have to use like Netflix, some of these streaming services, because cable here, zip. But it was good. Bollywood was good. I wish I could remember some of the movies, but if I come back, I'll put it down titles. But they're really good. I found them really, interesting. They had like, I I love romance, so I loved it. But yeah, those are really how like moved me with the films and stuff. It helped me with like, when I was in I should say drought, because I wasn't in a drought. Like okay, let me be real. I felt like it was when the pandemic happened, it was like, we're gonna halt the film industry, the televisions, because we're in a pandemic. And plus, they probably got stalled because the pandemic held before films. I understand. In my mind, I thought to myself, like, maybe this is the time that they're gonna finally let Love Is come out of the cages that they've been in for years, because it kept saying that they recorded and they filmed Love Is, but they couldn't put it out. I was like, maybe this is the time, because they're in halt of the film industry, and I know they got some bangers that they they're just holding on cages. Nope, they didn't. I'm still hoping too, and I'm not gonna give up that hope, period. But they didn't happen, so I was kind of like just rewatching reruns, which are not bad at all. I was rerunning Hidden Passion. I was doing Living Single, Forever, I was doing Insecure before their last season came out, which I always get emotional when like the last season came out, but Insecure was good. Insecure was good. P-Valley, I rewatched P-Valley because that came out in 2019, so 2019. I'm telling you, 2019 to 2021 collided to me. So, watch P-Valley. I was going to do a power run, but man, when I tell you, woo, I had to stop because, I had to stop. Well, when I started, like, I wasn't coming late to the party. Again, the years collided. So then I watched Ghost. And then after I watched Ghost, I watched BMF. After BMF, I watched KANAN, Ghost, BMF, and then Force, which I hope Force comes back with a season 2, because man, I like Tommy. They didn't have to do my girl Gloria like that either. I felt that. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought she was gonna live. Like I said, oh my gosh, okay, maybe she gonna be, Tommy's love interest. Nope. One thing about Starz in the Power Universe, always have your toes up, because they could be dead any moment. You be thinking these people are gonna be alive for a whole season? Nope. You got it wrong. Oh my gosh, I lost. Yeah. So, but I love how Starz is coming right now with the black content. I mean, the content in general. Because right now, Starz has me on lock with Raising Kanan, BMF, Ghost, P-Valley for sure. I finished season 2 and man, like, oh my gosh, I was not trying to be upset, but I was upset, but I understood, and I was like, I'm glad that I hope you guys get a season 3 and a 4, because I was like really like trying to just calm myself down, because I knew I couldn't trust Big Bone. For the people who haven't watched P-Valley, you can pause here and watch P-Valley. This season 2, I'm sorry. But I couldn't trust her, okay? And I honestly told myself, I said, self, I know she's going to disappoint me. And I said, I know I'm going to get my feelings hurt. And what did I do? Get my feelings hurt. Get my feelings hurt. All up in my feelings. That night, like, people be like, oh, who's crazy enough to wake up at 12 a.m. to watch season 5? I am. I admit. And this is the thing. I don't tweet about it until probably like 9 o'clock-ish. And when I do, I cry. Like, I cried on the season finale. I cried maybe because, for one, we didn't have, the whole aspect of, it was just a lot. This lady is watching me, and it's like, it's so crazy. It's like, minding businesses is really something hard for people to do. It's hard for people to do. Like, I'm not bothering nobody. I'm in my car. I'm in the place of just chilling, and all she does is just like look at me like, what is she doing? And I'm about to start the new chapter of Quinta called what? What is it called? Oh, let me pull it back. It's called Minding Your Damn Business. Oh my gosh. Did I say that? No. Quinta said it. But anyways, yeah, it made no sense why she did all that. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Filming. Well, filming is good. Those right now, Starz has me on lock. But Hope P Valley gets renewed for season 3 and 4. I'm doing 2 seasons because at this point, ain't no way I could get all that cleared up in one more season. It's 2, 3, like whatever your choice. But that was good. The Shy is coming back, renewing The Shy again. Insecure is finished, so HBO, you know, HBO got HBO, you know. HBO has Rap SHIT out, and that's good. I hope it gets renewed for season 2. I thought it was really cool. And they put me on to some music, and they just released their album, their soundtrack album, and it's really good. Like, it's banging. Like, I'm liking now how people, I don't know, but they're making the music hit. You know, it used to be like the films, it was like, oh my gosh, like that song does not fit in this film whatsoever. But I'm seeing my people do good, y'all. They be just putting on the music and I'll be like, yes, it's hitting. It's just hitting the right. It's like, you know, the music supervisors or the people behind doing the music, y'all be hitting it. Like, hitting it on point. And I like it. And, here this lady go again. I don't know what it is. Like, nosy people will do nosy things. And I'm not a person who be like, okay, get out the car and be like, girl, what you looking at? I'm just wondering, like, why? That's all. Why? Why be so nosy? Why be so, you know? Anyways, though, yeah, so that is right now HBO's HBO. Rap SHIT. I hope it gets renewed for season 2. They have the House of Dragons, which already got renewed for season 2. I'm gonna watch it. I'm not like a person who's like not gonna watch. Just like I know the ending. Unless this is the whole thing. Well, the George R.R. Martin, the guy who wrote the books, he was like, this is what he wanted to do. That's why I've been reading from articles. And this is not like he said this is what he's been wanting to do. I don't know, like, I've been reading people, what they've been saying and stuff, and I want some of it to be real and some of it not, you know, be real. But someone said, oh, you know, Drogon taking her up and flying her away, maybe she might be alive through something that the House of Dragons might show. And I'm like, you know what? Before I get my hopes up again, which I'm just, you know, not gonna do, but it's like, nah, I'm not even gonna enter that. And, you know, I love Emilia Clarke. I got into Emilia. What's so crazy too is I didn't even get into Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. I got introduced to Emilia Clarke from Me Before You, because that was a great movie. I loved it. And then my mom, she always talked about Game of Thrones, but I was late to the party because I watched one episode and I was like, so much nude and so much, not so much nude, but like so much like energy I had to put onto this, because when I saw it had by the time I was like 6 seasons already, I was like, oh my gosh. I probably just finished the Office run of like getting to know what the Office was about and binging it. I was like, okay, let me stop you right here. So after that, I came back this year, 2022 or 2021. Oh Lord, 2022, I think. No, 2021, because my dad was so yeah. So 2021, I was watching it, and I got into it, and I saw Emilia Clarke, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're from Me Before You. And it's probably the other way around. People probably be like, oh my gosh, Me Before You, that's you know, that's from Game of Thrones, you know. But I did the other way around. I was late to the party, you know, but I went to the party at least. So yeah, that was good. The ending, I understood, you know. I try not to bring, I realized from a conversation, I try not to bring up Game of Thrones. Because I realize it's a touchy subject. Touchy subject. I understand for the people who did waited every year for that. For me, I'm blessed because I was upset. I'm still upset, but I was like, some of them don't even want to bring the conversation up. And it's okay. I'm okay with it. Teach his own. But I hope I get to see Emilia Clarke in more. I'm sorry, I just went a whole Emilia Clarke, but I hope I see Emilia Clarke more. I love her. I think she's a good actress. And for the other people too. I was so late to the party. I just saw because how they have Leonardo DiCaprio and they'd be like, oh, that's you. I did the same thing when it came to when I watched Sandpaper, and I saw Sandpaper, and I was not Sandpaper. I said Sandpaper, but I meant Sandman, and I watched it, and it was really good. Sandman. Sorry, y'all. I promise y'all, I don't know what it is, but yeah. So I watched Sandman, and that was good. It was really good. Loved it. Thought it was good. But I saw the girl. Oh, I forgot her name. But there's a person in Game of Thrones who played in Sandman. That's all I'm getting. I'm trying to give away because I gave away stuff on P-Valley and people want to watch P-Valley. I suggest you miss what I said about her basically. I'm not even gonna give that person a title. I closed my eyes because I said I don't even want to think about it that bad because I know it's just gonna get me boiling because y'all if you guys, okay, this is not giving away. No, I'm not gonna even do that. Anyways, if you really are liking P-Valley, it's really good. It's really good. I also love the actress. I love all the actors and actresses, but Brandy Evans, man, I love her her story behind it, her mother, because multiple sclerosis is really serious, and I think it takes a lot, but it's really phenomenal to her telling her story. I loved it. And besides that though, man, I was about to cry about that, but anyways, but yeah, those are films. That's what's getting me outside right now, making me not have to think about what's happening right now, because I want to have something outside of what I'm dealing with, which is A.K.A college, A.K.A work, and something fun to do. And I'm starting to find that within myself, me wanting to travel more. I love bowling. I love being with my family. I love videoing history, my family, because we don't realize it now, but we're gonna miss these memories and these stories, so I like to record. It's not oh, you're taking the fun out of it. It's some videos I want to have just because they're good to have. For instance, my Aunt Anne's videos, I want to have them simply because I love her cooking her cakes, and I had to take a pause on it for a couple months because I was down bad. It wasn't feeling sick. It was just I was eating cake every weekend, and it was good, and I needed to stop. And I was I retire. I retire all the time, and it's hard. It's hard to say goodbye. So, but I like to record her videos. I love to record my grandmother. I recorded my grandmother teaching me to sew, which was really good because I learned how to sew. And those are memories I'll tell my children and my niece or nephew, Lord willing. But those are memories I love to have, Not, a picture is good. Pictures can tell a story, but a video will tell a story. I don't need my mom's opposite to me. I don't, if I just press record and we just go on with life, you pretend the camera's not there. And it's not for the world to see, it's for family. So I won't be oh my gosh, I'll keep the original for me, but I won't give the I'll do the edits and stuff like that for, you know, someone. But I really appreciate that. I appreciate the videos. I appreciate the time I've spent, the time I continue to spend with my my family members, because it's a blessing. I you know, it's very much a blessing. Within 2015 to now, you know, the fleeting of family members and the fleeting of just, yeah, family, it hits hard. And you learn, you know, I have been, you know, I've been blessed to have family members who have told me stories, who have laid out a foundation for me, and have given me opportunity, and have, you know, blessed me with their stories and advice to help me for my future. You know, I'll never forget my Uncle Timmy teaching me how to do one hand wheel of a, you know, of going back, you know, backing up my car. That's just something I won't forget. He was teaching my sister, and I learned through the process of it. And I never forget that, because, like, when I back up, I think all the time of my Uncle Timmy. So, like, stuff like that, I learned, even with the person not even telling me, like, hey, this is what you need to do. It's like, you know, just observing. And I always say to my family members, and I say to myself, that I'm very observant. Like, people say, you don't talk a lot, you're shy. It's like, you know, my dad always said, like, you know, sometimes all you need to do is just listen. You don't always need to talk. And I'm learning that day in, day out, because, like, sometimes I don't need to talk. I just listen, and I'll get my answer. And sometimes it's good to ask, which I'm learning. So I appreciate those lessons that have been taught to me. I appreciate God for giving me those people in my life, those brothers and sisters in Christ in my life, entering in my life, to have taught me so many things, because, you know, it's very hard. It's very hard. You know, everyone has a different lane and you know, journey they're going through, and some might be, you know, here, you know, some might be here and some might be here. So I really appreciate it. You know, I've been blessed, but 2015, 2022 definitely hit harder. I mean, I didn't realize until I was in my Bible, and I don't know if people do this anymore, but in my Bible I usually put who's been born. So I put my cousins and my cousins' kids have been born, and people who have been married, and people who had deaths and stuff. And when I looked at the deaths and the births, I was like, wow, if you really think about it, like, it just hit like 1 month, then 2 in 1 month, then 3 in 1 month. It's like all these people back and forth. It's like, wow, you know, it hits. And even when I went to college, like, even when I heard, like, people who I graduated with passed, I realized to myself, was like, man, you know, even if you didn't have a friendship of sort with them, you saw them, and it's sad to see those people you went to school with every day, saw them every day, you know, were chatting up with their friends and stuff, just pass away like that. It kind of hits home, because it's like, wow, you know, we just graduated. If it's 2022, we graduated in 2019. So it's like, really, it really hits. No matter if it's your, you know, your enemy, or no matter if it's your, you know, person you never even talked to, it just hits home. So it you know, it really hit. And, you know, because you don't want that. Especially you don't want that for their parents or grandparents or anything like that. So it really opened me up in a way that, you know, it just, like, opened my eyes to stuff. I think again, like I always said, I don't know how I just went down to that plot, but even, like I always say, junior year really opened me up into a way, because I never ever want to feel that way ever again. I think that was like, you know, people always say, oh, you're down bad, like, that's down bad. I was really low as it could be, and I don't want to be like that anymore. And I refuse to, because I almost had that in last week's event, but then I said, no, you're not gonna come into senior year like this. That was junior year, this is senior, this is a new year. You can't have that type of energy around you nor inside of you. So what can you do to do better? So I said I have to talk again. Talking to yourself is better. For me, it's better because I evaluate what I'm doing, what I could do better, what I need to do better, how I could have done this better. You know, how can I improve? What was the problem with this? Time management, stuff like that. Because, you know, a phone can only do so much. And sometimes, you know, you telling yourself stuff and talking to God is very much bigger than this. So it's been really helpful, really important to me to do that. I really am trying not to have my junior year like that type of energy, because that was horrible, worse, miserable. But yeah, that's what I've been doing so far when it comes to this whole shebang of besides college academics, work and stuff. I want to get out, not out like I don't want to say like, oh, I'm outside with it, because we're still in a pandemic, which I am just, yeah, we're still in a pandemic, so I'm kind of like not a whole outside like that. So I'm really just being precautious in some sense. So yeah, I'm not like outside. I'm not even a person who does that, like the bars and stuff. That's not me. We can go bowling, we can go putt, we can travel, like go to somewhere else, like see something adventurous or something like that. But that's just not me. I mean, the other stuff is not me. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and it's been helpful. It's been a blessing because I'm still alive. It's been a blessing because I'm still here, and I'm finding more and more stuff of what faith likes and what faith wants to do, and it's been helpful. It's been fun. Well, it's been helpful. I would say it's fun, but it's like, you know, yeah, the closest excursion, I feel like, yeah, I'm not gonna even say that, but yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a ride. I'm just hoping I can get through these next 2 semesters. I found out my graduation date, which I'm excited about. I personally want to write thank you notes before I hand them out, before I give my graduation letter. People say, not people say, but I have in the back of my mind, like, why would people be like, why would you do that? But, you know, it's not for me, which is, people probably would be surprised. For me, graduating, it's not about the money to me, because I appreciated people with their words, with their help, with their minds, their advice, just their presence in and out my life. They could have been a part of my life for 2 years, and you know, they left and they came back. You know, I learned from an OG herself, Miss Ruth, that you don't have to always talk to your friend every day. You know, you can catch up with them. You know, you could talk to them a year from now and then catch up with them. You know, you don't have to do that every day. Well, I wish I could interpret it better, but she taught me a real lesson about that. So I appreciate her, always the OG Ruth, every day, no days off for her. But I really appreciate that. But I wanted to write thank you letters to people who I appreciate and who have really shown me something that has really touched my heart. And it could have been, you know, I have things that I appreciated from when I was 10 years old, you know, when I was 9 years old. You know, I appreciate certain things that people just probably have forgotten in their life. But the thing about me, it's like, I remember. So, I remember certain things, that people advice, people who have shown up. The people who haven't shown up, I do remember you, and I have taken what you have done or what you did during that time, and it has taught me a lot. So I appreciate that. But I do want to write thank you letters. I have the number count already in. I'm already in the process of writing, and I'm not even, Lord willing, I make it to graduation, but I really appreciate those people, and I thank them, and I want them to know that they are loved, not only by me, but by the Lord, because I think too, with the pandemic, I know for sure, but the pandemic, I feel like people low blow. You know, depression was real for you know, I'm not even gonna put a number out, but depression was real, and I feel like people had a low blow of them not being loved. But I personally had the people I wrote in my heart all the time, and it would come out just like the craziest moments, like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even thinking about that, you know, how are they doing and stuff like that. So I really appreciate those, and I want to do a thank you. You know, it's not for me about the money. Oh, I'm gonna give you a graduation thing, and then I'm gonna, you know, hope that you give me money. Like, no, I want to thank you regardless of money, regardless of you coming to my graduation. I appreciate you for what you have done, for how you have touched my heart, how have you shown like your love, your, you know, just your effort of, you know, being present into my life that has changed my heart or has changed my perspective on something. And people never really realize that. And some people, I realize too, some people don't like to get their flowers or their, you know, their fruit baskets. And I'm starting to realize, like, it used to be for some time, like, I didn't like to get that, because, you know, even for one, I still don't like to get that, but for one, like, even for church, I find that as a ministry. I mean, I always pray and I always say, Lord, please use me for your purpose and for your will, because, you know, one time in Bible class, there was a question like, would you rather be, you know, do this or be used by God? And I automatically had in my head be used by God, because I know when you're used by God, you're doing God's will. And that's always what I always learn from my parents, you know, Lord willing, because you don't know the day, you don't know today, you don't know tomorrow, you don't know the next, you know, month. So that's why I don't really like to plan out until like the month comes or what so. But I really appreciate those teachings and those instilled life lessons and teachings in my body, in my soul, in my mind. So I like to take that upon. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm doing for graduation. Gotta get the stamps for it. But yeah, that's so much of what I'm doing outside of the whole college. I have a whole plan, but again, you have to make if plan A doesn't go good, plan B. If plan B don't go good, then plan C. If plan C don't go good, girl, go to plan D then, okay? Because at the end of the day, you gotta have plans, even if they get altered or stuff like that. So that's what I plan to do for graduation, Lord willing. Again, I keep saying Lord willing because we shall see these semesters. We shall see. These gen eds, y'all, they trying to get a sister down, but I refuse. But that's what I'm going on, and I wanted to just talk to you in a safe space, which is AKA my car, AKA the baby, not DA, but the, okay. But yeah, I appreciate myself talking to myself. It kind of gives me like a bit of reevaluation of my life and what I need to do, as well as just gives me a peace. It gives me peace because as I talk to you, I look at the trees that go back and forth, and I think of like how blessed it is to breathe out of your nose and just breathe into the air. And just like sometimes you just have to take time to just realize like, wow, you know, you're here. So I'm blessed, I'm thankful. I have my days, but don't we all? So I hope that you have a phenomenal day, whatever day that is watching this, whether that is 2023, 2060, whatever it could be. But I hope that rhymed, girl. Oh, I got bars. But yeah, that's pretty much it of what the life of moi is going through. And yeah, it feels good to talk to you guys. Like, man, I did my hair yesterday. Ooh, man, let me tell you, they do not lie. Quinta wrote in her book talking about like, it is not just an hour. It's not like, no, I shouldn't say hour, but like hair, it's not just like a set, boo-doo-doo, done in like 30 minutes for us black women. Hair, just like these natural, it is like hours hours when she was telling me the stories about her sister and her mothers, and I was like, wow, girl. Wow. And I was late to the party about Edges too, so I'm not like, I'm late to the party all the time, but at least I come. So, you know, and if I don't come, I'll just get a message about what happened, so it don't matter. But anyways, I love you. You are loved. I'm talking to myself, so you are loved. You are loved. And I hope that you have a phenomenal day, because today is a day of Thanksgiving. So I'll see you guys later, see myself later. But yeah, I wish the best for myself here. But yeah, I'll get stuff done. I'll get through this. I will get through this. I know I will. I shall overcome. All right, you guys. Bye.